Christine, I heard that you found yourself a new man to be engaged to. I bet you're so proud of yourself for getting there with him. As always, you are able to come out on top. What kind of man is he? I'm your best friend, so you should be willing to introduce him to me sometime soon.
It's been a long time, Gina. You do understand that I have no want to show my fiancé to you, right? Have you already forgotten what you did to me the last time that would make me feel this way?
Are you still complaining about what happened so long ago? That happened so far in the past that I've totally forgotten what happened in the first place.
Well, I have not forgotten what happened, and I never planned to let go of what happened to me because of you.
But it doesn't really matter anymore to anyone, right? You're going to be getting married soon here, right? So you can go ahead and forget about what happened to your last fiancé and move on. Having to drag that unneeded weight with you throughout your life is only going to slow you down.
I have forgotten about my last fiancé, but I will never forget about how my once best friend stole my fiancé right from my hands.
Ah, so this is about all that then. Well, in my case, all of that happened so long ago that my memory of it is really vague. But you should consider yourself lucky for finding a new man willing to marry you. So what kind of man is he?
I told you that I don't plan on introducing him to you, right? Now goodbye, Gina.
Well, do as you please. If you're going to try and keep him away from me, I guess I'll go look for him myself.
What do you mean you'll go looking for him? What the heck are you up to? I don't think he's the kind of man you should be going out looking for. So, can you stop talking like you've gone mad and just leave me and my fiancé alone? I've had enough of you in my life after what you pulled last time, and I'm still pretty speechless from the day I found out. So don't expect to be hearing from or seeing me again.
Even if you don't plan to deal with me anymore, I want to meet your fiancé. If I just apologize to you about the past, will you forgive me and let me come see him?
I'll forgive you as long as you promise to never come around me and my fiancé. How does that sound? That probably wouldn't stop you, so I won't forgive you. Now goodbye.
I'm assuming that you got the invitation to my upcoming wedding, correct? Isn't this just crazy? Did you take a look at it yet?
Yeah, I did take a quick look at it.
How does it feel, Christine? How does it feel to have lost yet another one of your fiancés to me?
I have to say, I never thought you could stoop even lower than you had and do the same crap to me again. But aren't you jumping the gun on that marriage a little too quick? Are you sure it's okay for you to be getting ready to marry him when you've only known him for a few weeks? What I'm trying to ask is, do you really know what kind of man you've just stolen from me?
Him and I both have a burning love for one another, and that's why we want to get married now. Is this what they call a destined marriage? Right now, I'm in his arms, and he's never going to let go of me because we love each other so much, Christine.
You said that the last time you stole my fiancé, Gina. But that time, you and my ex immediately learned that you didn't really love one another and broke up, right?
Well, he turned out to be a pretty boring man after all. But since then, it's been 2 years and I'm turning 30 soon. I've really been wanting to become someone's wife. So I told myself that the next man I get, I'm keeping. So this is all working out perfectly for me. I was able to get a pretty good-looking man from you this time.
Able to get him from me, huh? You were always aiming for him the moment you noticed I had a new fiancé, right? I don't think you just luckily got him from me without any effort.
No matter what you have to say about how I find my men, you're still the one without a lover. He has chosen me and chosen to leave you so that we can get married. And we have both agreed to make that marriage very soon. So no matter how hard you try to get him back from me, it's all going to be for nothing because he's already in my arms for good.
Going to be for nothing, huh? At this point, I'd rather let you have him.
And that's because you're too depressed to fight for him. And I can understand why you're depressed. You were bragging in front of everyone about your fiancé, saying that it was about time you planned to get married. But now he's gone, stolen away by your better-looking friend. And we're going to live the life you wish you could.
Gina, why have you chosen to talk to me today? Does you sending me this invitation to your wedding mean that you actually want me to come to it?
Well, you are my best friend after all.
What? Since when have I been your best friend recently?
I would be happy to have my very depressed and loser of a friend at my wedding to give a speech for me and me fiancé.
You really are the worst.
Will you not do it? I really want a loser like you giving the speech that day. I'm your best friend after all, so that should be all right, right?
Right now, I don't think of you as my best friend. And I'm sure you only want me there on stage so that you can make fun of me in front of everyone. I know about what you plan to do with me when I get there, and I don't want in on it.
I'm not planning to use you as the laughing stock or anything. Rather, I just think it would be fun time. I want to make sure that everyone at my wedding is entertained, and your speech would help us out a lot with that. And I'd like to take the chance to explain to everyone just how fun it was stealing your fiancé from you. Now, I'm going to have this wedding whether you like it or not. So just come and give that speech for me.
Fine, leave it to me.
You're such a great friend, Christine.
I'll make sure to be there on the day of your wedding. And I'll make sure that I'm completely prepared to give a great speech.
And that's the reason right there as to why you're my best friend. I'll be looking forward to the speech, okay?
But in exchange for me coming and giving that speech, can I bring a +1?
Huh? Who do you plan on bringing to my wedding?
I plan to have a very important person come along with me. That should be fine with you, right? You don't even have to worry about them having a seat there or not, as they'll only stay for a short bit. That okay with you?
An important person? You only just had your fiancé stolen from you by your best friend. So who else could be there left to call an important person to you? Are you trying to impress everyone around you again? Well, go ahead and bring whoever that person is. It would be lonely for you to have to come by yourself as the biggest loser after all. I'll be waiting to see what poor sap you drag along.
Perfect. Now I'm really looking forward to that wedding of yours.
Where the hell did you go? You just made my wedding into a mess and ran off like that? Right now, they are considering having this whole wedding put off after what you did. What the hell was up with that introduction?
What do you mean, what was up with it? I was just telling everyone the truth.
No freaking way you were telling the truth. I want to know who the hell that handsome man was. Why was he with you?
I only just told everyone who he was, right? Why are you not willing to believe what I said?
I'm sure that you just paid that handsome man to be your man for the day to show off, right? You brought him with you with the sole purpose of making me jealous.
I'm sure that you know the truth and are just trying to make up excuses in your head at this point, right? But what I told you and everyone else today was the truth. And that speech I gave was just to let everyone know the big secret. But you could also say that today was the day I finally got my revenge on you for what you did to me. Well, it's all over with now, and I've had my fun, so you can relax now as I'm no longer going to do anything to you.
There's no way thought that you just got married to that man. You're lying. And what is this about the man I stole from you being a stalker that's been following you around for ages? Saying that in front of all our guests about my husband is extremely rude.
I'm sorry for that, but it's the truth. He's been stalking me for over 3 months now, and now he seems to have taken a greater liking into you. I'm so glad that you went looking for him, because now he will no longer be my problem.
How could you make me so embarrassed in front of all my guests, though? I still believe that what you told today is all lies, but everyone out there doesn't know that yet, and they have started to believe you. I'm so freaking embarrassed.
Well, to my husband and I, seeing you freak out like that in front of everyone over my speech was so amusing that I almost peed in my dress giving that speech. I really did a number on you today. And not only did my husband and I get a good laugh in, but my revenge is now complete.
Do you have any freaking idea what the hell you've done by giving such a bullcrap speech like that in front of everyone, though? You get back here right now and tell everyone here that you lied to them. If you don't do it right now, I'll never forgive you.
I don't need you to forgive me, Gina. I have never been wanting anything from you this whole time, actually. I just wanted to make you as embarrassed as possible today, and I think I did a great job of that. And the fact that you married that stalker really has made me so happy.
Stop with all that crap right now. Do you not have a freaking heart, Christine? Why would you do something like this to someone?
You think that I'm the one without a heart? Okay.
Huh?
Do you have the right to be saying that I'm heartless after what you did to me? In reality, that man is nothing more than a stalker of mine, but you went after and stole him only because you believed he was my fiancé, right?
And so freaking what?
You see? The only thing that sat where your heart should be is a rotting pile of anger and jealousy. And this was your second time doing that to me, right? The first time you did this, I already knew you were heartless and chose to cut my ties with you. But you did end up apologizing to me for that eventually, and so I let it go for a while after. However, this time you did it again. And had that man actually been my fiancé, you would have scarred me 2 times. That is completely messed up, Gina. When you contacted me the first time saying that you wanted me to introduce that stalker to you, I already knew what you were planning to do.
But I didn't think that by doing this, my whole wedding would be ruined. And if it so happens that what you're saying is true about this Brad guy, then that means he really isn't your fiancé, right?
Well, I did say that he wasn't, right? But the fact that you still went after him and married him is wild to me. Well, it's totally fine with me that you took him away from me, because all he caused me was trouble by constantly following me around. You really failed at your goal this time, but as for me, I was very lucky to have you come at me for seconds.
I cannot believe this. Are you sure that everything you said today in that speech is true? I do not want to believe you for a second, but...
Well, if you don't want to believe me, then who am I to care? To be honest, it's probably better that you look away from the truth and keep believing the lies you tell yourself.
This isn't about me believing in some lies or not.
I made sure to lure him out behind me so that you'd run into him thinking he was my fiancé. And it just so happens that you did what I expected you to do. And look at that. You both fell in love with one another, and that's a win for everyone, right? And as for the speech, I made it very entertaining and had a lot of fun giving it. So you should be happy.
Wait, Christine, Brad is telling me right now that he doesn't have a job yet.
Huh? I thought I made his situation very clear to you. At this point, even he's telling you the same thing I said, so he has to be telling you the truth.
And he said that before he did have a liking for you, but that he now is totally invested in me. Even going so far as to look up everything about me. What he's saying about me right now is really scary.
Well, that's the type of creepy stalker that he is. Before he used to work for an investigation agency, but he was fired from there for using the tools that they had to look into younger women and learn about where they lived and such. So after becoming unemployed, he used what he learned to continue doing what he does, and that's stalking. Unfortunately, he lived in the apartment next to mine for a while and began to really become attached to me and follow me everywhere. But soon he couldn't afford that apartment anymore and moved out. However, he still knew where I lived and where I'd go. Luckily, he's on to you now, and you've just married him, making his job of stalking you way easier.
You have to be freaking joking. So he's pretty much learned everything he needs about me?
Isn't that just great, though? You have finally found someone that loves you so much and was willing to marry you. And with him watching your every move now, you'll never be able to cheat or get a divorce from him. Have a wonderful life, the two of you.
He doesn't have a job and will expect me to support him now? If I'd known that he was this kind of person, I wouldn't have forced us to get married so quickly. I thought that when you started to brag about your man so much, this was the man you were talking about. This is the worst, Christine.
Well, whether you feel that this is the worst or not, I wasn't the one that forced you to start dating Brad and choose to marry him. So if you're going to try and blame me for this, good luck. In the end, you were the one that made the choice to take him away from me and then marry him and get yourself into the position you're in now.
He told me that he'd pay for this whole wedding after we got married even. But now he's telling me that he has nothing in his savings. What should I do about all of this? Making me pick up such a creepy man.
Making you pick him up? You were the one that went after him, right? Well, you yourself are a very crappy woman, so the two of you will get along very well together. Must suck to finally learn that the man you went out of your way to steal, thinking that he was my fiancé, has turned out to be a stalker of mine, and in no way my fiancé. And another thing, the way you ended up finding out about me having a fiancé in the first place was because I told my friend to purposefully start telling you about him in hopes that you'd come to steal that stalker away.
Huh? Why would you go out of your own way to tell me that?
Well, it has to do with the fact that you went and stole my ex from me before, so I thought that using Brad as bait for you to fall into my trap would be a great move on my part. And man, did you fall into my trap perfectly. And you ended up taking my stalker away as well.
What the hell? I knew it. I knew that you did this to me.
Well, I never thought that you'd jump to marry him this fast, and was hoping that you'd at least learn who he was before tying the knot. So don't blame all of that on me. You were the one that said yes to marrying him, right? And now you've gotten to learn that he is indeed a stalker, and has no money to his name at the moment.
What?
And he's currently in debt, actually. And I learned that from someone who's worked with him. And so you can believe him when he says he has nothing. I'm sure that he feels like a winner right now, because he found himself a woman that will take care of all his needs and pay off his debt.
You have to be freaking kidding me. Brad is in debt as well?
He sure is. He's in debt and is a huge stalker, so congrats! And now you're going to have to pay for that whole wedding all by yourself. And I hope you look forward to a life of having to support your husband with your paychecks.
This is so messed up. At this point, there's no meaning to this marriage.
Well, you've been waiting to get married and we're looking for a man, right? You should be jumping with joy right now since you finally have your husband. I wish you both the best as you start a new life together. But I'm sure to you, this will be the start of your life in hell. Gina ended up asking Brad about what all Kristen was saying, and he told Gina that she was in fact telling the truth about him and their situation. Gina was furious to hear this from even him, and told him that they would be getting a divorce right away. But Brad was not having it and said he didn't want anything to do with leaving her. Looking at it from the outside, you can see that Gina really did end up doing it to herself and would not be able to run away from Brad easily. And as for Gina's parents who were at the wedding, they were embarrassed about what they learned about her and ended up disowning her after the wedding and cutting ties. Well, Gina really did do a great job screwing herself and would now get to experience what hell is really like. But this is all what she deserves for being such a rotten woman, and I'm sure there will be nobody coming to help save her. As for Kristen and her husband, they were able to go on their honeymoon after they finished what they needed to do at Gina's wedding. Kristen also made sure to block Gina's phone number in order to make sure that Gina would never become a problem for her again. Of course, this may not stop her from coming to Kristen's apartment, but soon her and her husband will be moving into a new home together, and by then, Gina will lose her only way of getting to Kristen.